All right, well, the weather is getting cold. James Dobney's here to talk to us about how to keep our houses more comfortable in the cold weather.
More comfortable, safer, and you don't want catastrophes.
Absolutely.
So
we're outside. Where do we start?
Start with the outside faucets, outside hose bibs, and making sure that the water's shut off, your hoses are disconnected. So let's start there.
All right, show us what we're doing.
First thing, disconnect the hoses, drain the water out. You want to have it, typically it'll be shut off. Now we have to go inside, we have to turn the water off to this faucet and drain the water out of the line.
Now what if we have a newer house?
Newer house, you might have something called a frost-free faucet, and what that is, has a long stem on it, and when you turn it off, the water actually shuts off inside the wall. So this will all drain out, you won't have any freezing problems. So if you see one that has this mounting plate on, it's probably going to be one like this.
And if we don't know where the turnoff is inside the house?
If you don't know where the shutoff is, or you can't find a shutoff, here's another alternative. Not as good, but it will work. There are various kinds of these. But this one, you have a hook. You put it over the faucet, like so. Put it on here, and tighten it up.
And that keeps it frost-free?
And that'll help, certainly, keep it from freezing. So, not foolproof, not as good as shutting the water off, but certainly a lot better than nothing. Okay, Lynn, we found the shut-off valve for the outside. So we've turned the water off. We've turned it on outside, and we have to open up this small valve and drain the water out.
That small valve in the same place with all of them?
Yes. Yeah, it's called a stop and waste. You can't really see it, it's on the back side here, but it's just a small knob. You open it up, it drains the water out. Because obviously if there's water in there, then it's still going to freeze. So
okay.
Make sure you have a big enough container and make sure you catch most of it. So, and that's it. When it drains out, we just leave it like that. Just remember to close this off when you've drained it, so when you turn the water on again in the spring, it's not going to leak. Cleaning
gutters, a very important thing to do, but not a favorite activity for many.
It's not a pleasant job. Ladders involved, and it's messy, and it's cold, but it's important. And it's important because you want to control the amount of water that gathers next to your foundation. Also, you don't want water splashing back on the house because that can cause problems with the finish as well.
Okay.
So
what, it's just the leaves that you're clearing out of the gutter?
Well, leaves, and if it's gone too long, you'll actually get things growing in the gutter. Never a good thing. So you should do it regularly, at least twice a year. There are things that you can do that will keep leaves from accumulating inside the gutters. They make various kinds of guards that you can use. So this is one of them. This one would slide up underneath the shingles. I'm not going to do it now, but better in warm weather when they're a little more pliable. And then it clicks onto the gutter like so. And that'll let water come in, but it will also keep the leaves from building up.
Of course, James, with winter conditions comes ice outside and potential slip hazards.
Yes, and you want to be very concerned about stairways in particular. You can see in this case, they've tried to do a good job and put on a non-skid strip. Unfortunately, depending on when they're put on, they don't tend to want to stay on very well. So if you can paint the stairs, you can put walnut chips or a non-skid coating in that, or there are actually mechanical devices that you can fasten to the treads. And I prefer those. Also, de-icing compound.
Okay.
Sprinkling that on the stairs, sprinkling that on your sidewalks, your driveways, anywhere where there's a lot of foot traffic. So.
Now, is this the same thing as the salt that people put out on their driveways?
Yeah, salt would be maybe a little harder on your landscaping than some of these compounds, but salt, kitty litter,
anything,
sand, but specific compounds made for it tend to work a little better. So, Lynn, we talked about mechanically fastened devices on stair treads. This is an example. So this is fastened down to a walkway. You could do the same thing on stair treads, made out of plastic. Some of them are made out of metal, but you're not going to have to worry about an adhesive coming off and having them fall off. So, and they stay on all year long.
So you never have to worry about them. Once they're down, they're down.
Once they're down, they're down.
Perfect. Okay, inside, of course, things that you have to worry about as well.
Well, heating season comes, and a concern is carbon monoxide. If you have any combustion appliances, your furnace, your water heater, most common source of a carbon monoxide problem in a house is the garage. And people go in and they start up their car and let it run in the garage. Not a good idea, but it happens. And that's why you should have a closer on your door. So if you have an attached garage or a carport that's been converted to a garage, there should be a closer. Sometimes it will look like this. Sometimes it will be on the hinges themselves. When you let it go, the door should close on its own. It should also be weather stripped, and that'll keep the the air in the garage separate from inside the house, keep the carbon monoxide out. And also, of course, install a carbon monoxide alarm outside your sleeping area, so very important.
What do you get asked most at this time of year?
One of the most common questions I get has to do with condensation on windows. So I have a problem with my windows sweating all the time. What can I do about it? I have a few suggestions. One is control the humidity inside the house, and that means use your exhaust fan in the bathroom after you've had showers. Use your exhaust fan in the kitchen when you're cooking. Make sure your dryer's vented outside. So control the humidity that way, but also make sure that the surface temperature of the windows is raised. And that means keep curtains open and open up the blinds.
All right, if you have any questions about your home, you can reach James by giving him a call, 604-942-8272, or check out his website, jamesdobney.com. You can also email him, admin@jamesdobney.com.